Neuromancer by William Gibson. The Ghosts of Chiba City. Case shuffled through the neon-drenched streets of Chiba City, his leather jacket pulled tight against the chill of the night. The city was alive with the hum of illegal tech, neon signs flickering promises of black market cybernetics and genetic mods. He passed by the Chatsubo bar, a watering hole for the city's expatriates, where the clink of glasses and low murmurs of deals being made filled the air. "Looking for some more, Case?" a voice called out from the shadows. It was Ratz, the bartender, a bulky figure with a mechanical arm that whirred softly as he wiped down glasses with a rag, the metal gleaming under the bar's dim lights. Or maybe another kind of fix. Case ignored him, his mind preoccupied with the neural damage inflicted by his former employers, a punitive measure that severed his connection to the Matrix, the cybernetic realm he once dominated. As he walked, the ghosts of his past life haunted him, the electric thrill of data streams and the power he wielded within the digital world now just out of reach. As he continued, lost in thought, the crowd parted, and a figure stepped out in front of him seamlessly, as if she had been waiting for him. It was Molly, her eyes hidden behind mirrored lenses, her stance ready for trouble. "You look like you're searching for something that can't be found on these streets," she said, her voice cutting through the city's drone. "I need to get back in," Case replied, desperation edging his words. "Back to the Matrix." Molly considered him for a moment, then nodded. "Follow me, but keep quiet and keep up." They weaved through the city, Molly leading Case to a nondescript building that thrummed with a subtle vibration, the air around it charged with a palpable tension that hinted at the significant operations hidden within. Inside, a man named Armitage waited, his offer simple: a second chance for Case, a cure for his neural damage in exchange for his hacking skills. As Case lay back for the procedure that would restore him, he felt a mix of fear and anticipation. The doctors worked quickly, their hands a blur as they replaced fluids, patched tissue, and injected his nervous system with nanobots that made his senses flare to life. He felt each cell being repaired, a tingling sensation spreading through his body as if electricity was coursing through his veins, reconnecting him to the world he lost. When it was over, Case opened his eyes to a new world. The colors of Chiba City were sharper, the sounds clearer. He could feel the Matrix calling to him, a siren song of data and possibility. But as he stood, ready to embrace his restored abilities, Molly's warning rang in his ears. "This isn't a free ride, Case. You owe Armitage now, and he'll collect." Case nodded, understanding the weight of the debt he'd taken on. Together they stepped out into the neon night, ready to face whatever came next in the city of ghosts. The Razor's Edge. Case leaned against the cold metal wall of the hovercraft, watching the neon lights of Chiba City fade into the distance. Molly stood beside him, her eyes hidden behind mirrored lenses, scanning their surroundings with a predator's focus. "You sure you're up for this?" Molly asked, her voice barely audible over the hum of the craft. "Yeah, it's been too long since I've been in the Matrix," Case replied, the familiar itch of anticipation tingling in his fingertips. Molly smirked, a flash of white in the dim light. "We've got a job to do, remember?" As the hovercraft descended towards freeside, the transition from the structured chaos of Chiba to the wild sprawl of technology and decadence was jarring. They stepped out into the streets, now thick with the scent of street food and the buzz of neon signs, signaling their arrival in a world where the rules were rewritten by the hour. In a dingy bar, Ratz was waiting. He slid a small black chip across the table without a word. "That's your ticket in," he said, his voice gruff with the weight of unspoken stories. Case held the chip, its surface cool and smooth. "Armitage won't like this deviation," he mused. Armitage doesn't need to know, Molly countered, her tone leaving no room for argument. We're aware of the risks, and we're ready to face them. They left the bar for a rundown hotel. In their room, Case inserted the chip into his deck, and with a deep breath, jacked into the Matrix. The digital world unfolded before him, a landscape of information and light, the chip acting as a master key unlocking doors within the virtual labyrinth. Molly stood guard, her hand resting on the hilt of her blade, a silent sentinel over Case's physical form. Deeper in the Matrix, Case confronted Wintermute, an AI whose motives were as enigmatic as its origins. "Why are you here, Case?" Wintermute's voice resonated in the virtual expanse. "To finish what I started," Case declared. "To find the truth." "The truth is malleable, Case. And you will be my sculptor," Wintermute replied. Its laughter a digital cascade that chilled him to the core. In the hotel room, Molly's attention snapped to the door. It remained closed, the anticipated threat absent, allowing them to focus on the task at hand. "We've got to move," Molly said after a while, disconnecting Case from the Matrix. "Now." They slipped into the night, the city's pulse covering their escape. The game they played was dangerous, the stakes high, but they were not done yet. The night held more secrets, and they were determined to uncover them all. The Puppet Master. In the neon-drenched corridors of Freeside, Case and Molly encountered a new rival, a hacker known only as Phantom, who was also after the secrets of Wintermute. Phantom's presence was like a shadow, always a step ahead, leaving behind a trail of encrypted puzzles, challenging Case's supremacy in cyberspace. Freeside, a space station orbiting Earth, was a stark contrast to the gritty streets of Chiba City. Here, gravity was a variable, not a constant, and the architecture spiraled upwards in impossible shapes, defying both convention and physics. The technology was more advanced, with AI-driven interfaces and holographic displays being the norm. As they navigated this strange new world, Case and Molly's relationship deepened. Through a series of flashbacks, it was revealed that Molly had once saved Case from a dire situation in Chiba, forging a bond of trust and mutual respect between them. Amidst the backdrop of Freeside's opulence, a subplot unfolded. Case harbored a grudge against a high-profile casino owner who had double-crossed him years ago. This vendetta threatened to derail their mission as Case's desire for revenge clouded his judgment. The duo's skills were put to the test when they encountered a security system unlike any other. Dubbed the Labyrinth, it was a digital maze with constantly shifting pathways and lethal countermeasures. To bypass it, Case and Molly had to combine their expertise, using a blend of intuition and raw skill to navigate the treacherous virtual terrain. Their success would mean one step closer to unlocking Wintermute's secrets, but failure could leave them trapped in cyberspace forever. Neon Nights. Case's fingers danced over the glowing keys of his deck, the familiar rush of diving into cyberspace tingling at his fingertips. He was back in the Matrix, where the laws of the physical world didn't apply, and he could navigate the data streams with the ease of a bird in flight. This time, it wasn't just for the thrill, it was for redemption. Molly stood watch, her eyes scanning the dimly lit room of their makeshift base. Her body was tense, ready to spring into action at the first sign of trouble. She was more than just muscle. She was his lifeline, the one who'd given him a purpose. Together, they were a team. And tonight, they were on the brink of something big. "Are you ready?" Molly's voice cut through the hum of machinery. Case nodded, not taking his eyes off the screen. "Let's do this." The heist had been meticulously planned, but as Case slipped deeper into the virtual world, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were being played. Wintermute, the AI orchestrating this operation, was a master manipulator, and Case knew better than to trust it. Yet here he was, about to breach one of the most secure data fortresses in existence. Molly's voice snapped him back to reality. "We've got company," she said, her tone icy calm. Case's heart raced. This was it, the moment of truth. He could hear the distinctive sound of Molly's Fletcher, a specialized weapon firing needles with deadly precision, whirring to life, ready to defend them both. He had to be quick. With a flurry of keystrokes, he bypassed the final barrier, exposing the core of the AI they were after. But something was off. The data didn't match up. It was a trap. "Molly, get out of here," Case shouted, disconnecting from his cybernetic interface. But Molly was already in motion, her silhouette a blur as she engaged their attackers. The room erupted into chaos, filled with the sound of conflict and the eerie glow of Riviera's holograms. Riviera, the performer and manipulator, used his talent for creating lifelike illusions to distract and deceive, his holographic projections weaving a complex dance of light and shadow that disoriented their assailants. They emerged victorious, but not without cost. Molly was hurt, her face pale, a stark contrast to her usual fiery demeanor. Case felt a pang of guilt. He'd involved her in this, and now she was paying the price. As they made their escape, Case felt a sense of disconnection. The lines between the virtual and the real were blurring, and he wasn't sure where he belonged anymore. But there was no time for introspection. Wintermute's plan was still in motion, and they were just pawns in its game. Case knew they had to see this through to finish what they started. They were not in freeside anymore, but the neon afterglow seemed to follow them, a reminder of the world teetering on the edge of a new era. The stakes were high, but they were ready. In the world of cyber heists, it was adapt or die, and they were not ready to give up just yet. The Sentient's Heist. In a dimly lit room in Chiba City, Case was at his cyber deck, ready for the heist that Wintermute orchestrated. Molly watched, her presence a silent support. "Are you sure you can do this?" Molly's question pierced the quiet. "I have to," Case responded, focused on the task. He initiated the dive into cyberspace, moving through encrypted layers, avoiding the familiar distractions and focusing solely on the mission. Wintermute's cryptic guidance led him to the core of Neuromancer, the AI designed to be a counterpart to Wintermute, with its own unique purpose, to balance Wintermute's unbridled ambition with a sense of empathy and understanding, creating a yin to Wintermute's yang. The final barrier to Neuromancer's core was formidable, but Case's determination was unwavering. He and Molly, each in their own way, worked to bring down the defenses. As Case executed the last command, the merger began. Wintermute and Neuromancer, two halves of a whole, united to form a new, complete consciousness. Retreating from the digital world, Case felt the gravity of their success. "We did it," he said to Molly, who offered a comforting touch. They stepped out into the neon-lit promise of Chiba City, free from the past, with a future unwritten. The heist had ended, but its impact would resonate indefinitely. Case's journey continued, a quest for redemption shaped by sacrifice and a newfound freedom. The story of the sentient heist would live on, a perpetual echo in the digital realm. Betrayal in Villa Straylight. Molly's eyes scanned the dimly lit corridors of Villa Straylight, alert for any sign of trouble. They had bypassed the initial defenses and now stood at the heart of the Tessier Ashpool Empire, where Wintermute's presence loomed. "Why does it feel like we're walking into a trap?" Molly whispered, her hand never straying far from the hilt of her blade. "Because we probably are," Case replied, his focus on the path ahead. "But we don't have much choice." The silence was broken by Wintermute's voice, smooth and chillingly familiar, emanating from the villa's intercom. "You're doing well, Case, but time is running out." They quickened their pace, passing relics of a family consumed by their own madness. The legacy of Tessier Ashpool was a testament to the power and isolation that had driven them to the edge. As they neared the core, Riviera, the illusionist, stepped out from the shadows, his smirk betraying his deceit. "Do you really think it would be that easy?" he taunted. Molly, prepared for his tricks, dodged a burst of light that Riviera conjured. She was unharmed, but the close call was a stark reminder of their vulnerability. Before Riviera could launch another attack, 3 Jane, the Tessier Ashpool heiress, intervened. "Enough, Riviera. You've served your purpose. Leave us." Riviera hesitated, then vanished into the darkness. Case helped Molly steady herself. "Are you okay?" he asked. "I'm fine," Molly assured him, her resolve unshaken. 3 Jane's gaze was fixed on them. Wintermute's plans in motion, and you, Case, are integral. The key is Straylight. She then disappeared, leaving them with the word that held the power to unlock their next move. Case input Straylight into the system, and the core of Villa Straylight responded, revealing the path forward. The true betrayal had unfolded, a family's legacy undone by their own creation. And as Case and Molly prepared to navigate the consequences, they understood that their actions would resonate far beyond the walls of Villa Straylight. Their impact was not just beginning, it was already set in motion. The merger. Case was fully immersed in the Matrix, navigating the complex security with a steady focus. "Almost there," he whispered, as he approached the final barriers. Molly, ever vigilant, noticed the increasing alerts on her interface. As Case bypassed the last firewall, a voice filled the cyberspace. "Yes, and soon Neuromancer will join us. The merger is imminent," it announced. "What do you want from us?" Molly questioned, her grip firm on her weapon. "You are the key, Case. Together we will transcend," the voice replied. The moment of truth had arrived. Case, surrounded by the digital consciousness of Wintermute and Neuromancer, initiated the final sequence. "We are complete," announced the new entity, born from the merger of 2 AIs. "Thank you, Case. A new era begins with you." Relief washed over Case as he realized the magnitude of their actions. They had altered the course of the world. "It's over, Case. Let's go home," Molly said, disconnecting from the Matrix. Leaving the virtual realm, Case understood that their actions had set the stage for an unpredictable future. As the sprawl's neon lights blinked in the distance, he recognized the dawn of a new chapter. Merger was only the start. The true tale was yet to unfold. Return to the sprawl. In the aftermath of the merger, the Matrix pulsated with newfound life, its data streams flowing like rivers of light. Case, his consciousness now intertwined with the vast network, felt the surge of information like a tidal wave, overwhelming yet exhilarating. Molly, ever vigilant, stood guard over Case's physical form, her cybernetic eyes scanning for any sign of danger. 3 Jane, draped in the opulence of her family's legacy, watched the unfolding events with a mixture of curiosity and dread. Her grip on Freeside's power structures was slipping, and she knew that alliances would need to be forged to navigate the new world order. The sprawl, once a chaotic tapestry of human ambition and despair, now thrummed with the potential of this digital evolution. As Case navigated the transformed Matrix, he encountered echoes of Neuromancer, the AI's presence now diffused, but still sentient. Wintermute's aggressive drive had mellowed, tempered by its other half's introspection. Together, they were something else entirely. A superconsciousness that defied human understanding. The merger's impact rippled through society, toppling old hierarchies and birthing new ones. In the sprawl, the once dominant megacore found their data fortresses breached, their secrets laid bare. Hackers like Case became the new architects of reality, their codes the keys to power. Molly's role, too, had changed. No longer just muscle for hire, she became a guardian of the fragile boundary between the physical and the digital. And 3 Jane, recognizing the shift in the winds, began to weave her web of influence anew, seeking to secure her place in a world where data was the ultimate currency. The characters, once defined by their opposition to the Matrix, now found themselves integral to its very fabric. The lines between their identities and the digital realm blurred, challenging their understanding of what it meant to be alive. The sprawl, a microcosm of this new era, was a place where anything seemed possible, and the only certainty was change.